If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and another tutorial. Today I'm going to sew along with you this lovely waist bag. This is the Frank Jr. waist bag, or it can be converted into a crossbody as well by Sincerely Jen. Isn't it adorable? So of course you can wear it across like this. You can tell I don't normally wear bags like this. I feel a little awkward, but it's actually pretty good. Goes across the back. You could also wear it around the waist as the old school 80s, 90s waist bag if you wanted to. This bag has minimal interfacing. Actually, in mine, there is no interfacing because I use waterproof canvas as well as vinyl. So the only interfacing you would use in this, if you use cotton, of course, you would back that with SF101 or similar that way. Let me show you some of the amazing features of this bag. So again, I did the version for the waist bag. There are also instructions in Jenny's pattern for how to do it as a crossbody. On the back, there is a significantly large, for this size of a bag, slip pocket, which would fit your cell phone. On the front, you have a zipper pocket here, which is fairly roomy in itself. And in the main section, again, for such a small bag, it is super roomy. As you can see on the inside, it is a bound finish, not a hard binding to do, not hard to turn around at all either. It's soft and it's squishy, so it will not be too heavy when you're wearing it on your body. In the pattern, there is an option to put a zipper pocket on the lining side. I opted out of that. I do show you the pieces for that at the beginning of the video, just to show you what they look like. Hardest part of this, and I still don't think I quite did it right because I think this is supposed to be a little more square. I think I made it a little too curvy, is this front zipper pocket, but it's not too bad at all. Again, I think it's supposed to kind of come up and follow the lines of this more, and mine looks more clamshell, but that's a Brandy thing, and that's not a pattern thing. Had to turn it off. Dogs are going crazy. Back to the guts of this bag. My exterior is done in the Connect Variegated. I believe this colorway is called Beaver. I might be wrong. I'm from Galaxy Customs. My zippers and zipper pulls are from Blue Cala. My webbing is from Zipper Valley. This is a water repellent fabric called Dayflex, which is also from Zipper Valley. It's my second time using it. It's very different. It's almost silky like. I really, really like it. What else? Again, no interfacing in this one unless you have used cotton, then of course you'd use SF101. So again, she's meant to be a squishy, soft bag, which she is, and you can make it in anything you like. Anyways, how about we get to making this bag? You're going to need optional rivets, some webbing, number 5 zipper tape, binding, a swivel clasp, slider, D-ring or triangle ring, 4 or 5 zipper pulls, and your nameplate. You're going to need your back top lining and exterior, your front top piece, 2 zipper tabs if you're doing the lining pocket, your back bottom piece, 1 exterior and 3 linings, your main gusset pieces, exterior and lining, your pocket gusset pieces, exterior and lining, your main lining piece, your zipper panels, 2 lining, 2 exterior, your front pocket pieces, 2 lining, 2 exterior, and your 2 linings for your zipper pocket if you're doing the lining, and then for the waistband, your connectors, 2 sets mirrored to one another. These first things we're going to do is we're going to take a lining bottom piece and an exterior back top piece. Put them right sides together after you've marked your centers, and then you're going to go ahead and sew across here with the seam allowance in the pattern. Press the seam up towards the top band and top stitch through the top panel. And this is that all done. Now we're going to take our back slip pocket pieces, take our lining and exteriors or right sides together, clip along this top straight edge, sew across this with the seam allowance and the pattern, flip them wrong sides together, and top stitch. We're going to go ahead and put these together, both right side up, matching up our centers, making sure everything's nice and straight. And you're going to go ahead and clip this all the way around to hold them in place, making sure the bottom center is there and your slip pocket is nice and straight. And then what we're going to do is you're going to measure in as per the pattern measurements into the sides of the slip pocket here. And we're going to kind of go this way, backstitch this way, and then baste all the way around, and same on the other side. And that's just going to help give a little bit more security for that slip pocket. Just like that, that is the slip pocket on the back done. I'm going to transfer my center marks as per the pattern piece on the two sides as well as the top and bottom. I also like to go ahead and put little snips in there just so it doesn't wipe away later on. Now we're going to work on our strap. So I've cut off a little piece off the end of my strap as per the pattern. I'm going to put it onto a D-ring like I am doing here and secure it wrong sides together, short end to short end, with some double-sided tape like so. Now I've marked a line on my connector piece as per the pattern, and on the short end of one of our connectors here, we're going to have that amount hanging over and baste that in place. Then you're going to take the mirrored piece, put these right sides together, clip in place along the three sides, and then you're going to sew up these three sides, leaving the bottom open with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. Once you've done that, I like to just go ahead and clip these corners. Do not cut the connector where the D-ring is, and turn this right side out. It helps to give that D-ring a little bit of a tug, but not too much, just to help pull it through. Once you have your corners all poked out and those seams all rolled nicely between your fingers, we're going to take this to the machine and we are going to top stitch around the three finished edges and baste the bottom edge. Now I went in and I added a rivet just for some extra security. Now I'm going to take my long strap here. I've put a piece of vinyl on the edge that likes to fray. That's just what I like to do. You're going to loop this around your swivel clasp, and you're going to go ahead and you are going to do 2 lines of stitching to secure. I also went ahead and I put a rivet in there just to have a little bit extra security. Now the other short end, you're going to loop through your swivel clasp, bring it up through your slider. Did I call that a slider before? You guys know what I mean. And with the other free end, you're going to install this exactly like we did with that D-ring connector with that short end there. So you're going to measure as per the pattern measurement with the connector right side up and my panel right side up, baste that in place, put these wrong sides together, and then turn this out, and then you can top stitch those 3 sides and baste the bottom closed once you have it all turned out. I once again added a rivet. Now we're going to go ahead and with the straight edge of the connectors, that is what you're going to line up with that back slip pocket into the center of the bag like so. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to base these connectors in place. Now for the hard part of the bag. So I've marked the top and bottom centers of my top panel here, and along this inside curvy mark I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some double-sided tape here. You can use clips as well if you prefer. I've also marked the center marks on my zipper. Make sure your pulls are on as well. And then what we're going to do is we are going to put these right sides together. So when this is wrong side up, you're going to be lining it up with the bottom side of the zipper, nice and centered. You're going to bring the short sides of the zipper nice and even with the top panel short ends and ease that zipper tape around that curve. And stick it down to the tape. Using a few clips may help as well. Same with the other side. Bring the short end of the zipper and line it up with the short end of the top panel. Once we have that done, we're going to put on our zipper foot and we are going to sew this with the seam allowance and the pattern all along that curve. Take that nice and slow. This is the hardest part, I swear. So that's what that looks like all done. My zipper moves free and clear. I have a pretty good seam allowance and I'm nice and even here. Okay, so now what we want to do is just on the ends, we want to flip that seam allowance up towards the top panel and just base that seam allowance up and out of the way. And that should have our zipper tape lying nice and flat on the wrong side. So that is what that looks like there. It's nice and flat. Now we're going to work on our pocket gusset panels. So I've already marked my top and bottom centers of each. We're going to take the exterior piece right sides together along that short edge with our zipper and top panel. And then you're going to take your lining piece and put it right sides together with the exterior, sandwiching that zipper in between. We're going to sew across the sandwich section with the seam allowance and the pattern. Pull those gussets wrong sides together and then top stitch through the gusset. Okay, so that's one side done. Now we're going to do the same with the other side. Bring the right side, or the exteriors or right sides together and clip in place. And then bring the lining around. It helps to undo the zipper here and match up that short end. So now the exterior and the lining are right sides together. And this is what we got. Now you can turn those gussets wrong sides together, clip the raw edges in place, and you can go ahead and you can baste along both of those sides. So we have one continuous loop. Okay, so this is what that looks like. Now what we want to do is we want to transfer our center marks, and we want to do little snips as per the pattern measurements for our quarter sections on this side. There is a measurement in the pattern telling you how far these side quarter sections should be down from the seam allowance. So make sure you take a look there. Under your zipper, that'll make it a lot easier. You're going to take your pocket piece. I've marked my quarter sections there, and we are going to put this right sides together along the unsewn side of the zipper. So mark or match up your top center sections first, right sides together with that zipper tape. Bring down the wrong side. Make sure that your top panel is kind of down and hidden on the inside. We don't want to accidentally sew through that. Match up that bottom with a couple clips. Right sides together again, match up those quarter section marks, clip in place. Same with the other side. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to evenly distribute the fabric in between those quarter sections, making sure to ease that zipper tape around those curves. Take your time doing this. This is the most finicky, hardest part, but it definitely is worth it. Now, when you get to the bottom sections, if you're finding that the gusset is not wanting to go around those corners, you can go ahead and put little 1/4 of an inch snips into those corners to help fan out the gusset fabric around the curve. It just helps turn a straight piece into a curvy piece, and that is what I'm doing here. Once you have that all clipped in place, you can go ahead and sew with your zipper foot on all around there with the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay, so that's what that looks like all done. I'm just going to pop it out and make sure my seam and my zipper look good, and it does. Okay, go ahead and pop the pocket back inside. And then you're going to take your lining piece, stuff in your top panel like this, and we're going to kind of make like a burrito, I guess. Match up along that seam that we had just sewn. So we are re-sewing along the same seam we just did. Match up the quarter sections exactly like we did with the exterior, but we have our linings going right sides together. So the other side of our gusset and our top panel, you're just kind of stuffing into the middle where you will not be sewing through them. Go ahead and clip this all the way around. Now once you have this clipped all the way around, along the bottom you're going to leave an opening for turning as per the pattern measurements. So I'm just going to mark that here. Make sure you're definitely doing it on the bottom and not on the zipper side. And we are going to sew around from a mark to mark, back stitching well all the way around. Once that's sewn, go ahead and turn this right side out through that opening. Because there's no interfacing on this, all of this turns so easy. So once turned through, go ahead and poke out all of those seams with a pokey tool or your finger or what have you. Okay, so now we need to close up that turning hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some double-sided tape and just put them just below that first stitching line. So it'll be within the seam allowance, just along where that hole is. Then you're going to turn under the raw edge by the seam allowance of that opening that we used for turning, and you're going to stick it down to that tape right along that stitch line. So it'll just barely cover it, and you will never be able to tell. Stick it down with the tape like so. Then you're going to flip this up this way, and we're going to top stitch all the way around here along that zipper, all the way around, and that's also going to close up that turning hole. So keeping a zipper foot on here I find helps still to go all the way around, make sure everything is caught and pressed out well, and top stitch. Okay, so that is now all done. Kind of pop it out, make sure everything is good. Now at this point I realized, man, I should have put on my nameplate on my pocket exterior, but I didn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna install my nameplate right above the zipper. I'm thinking right about here. Okay, so my nameplate is on, my exterior is done. Now we're gonna take our pocket lining, and I've marked my quarter sections. And what we're going to do, that same seam that we had sewn before, now this is a little bit trickier here. You're going to match up that center right along that seam along the zipper. Kind of clip the top first and then the bottom. And we will be stitching this just a little bit different just because that top panel kind of gets in the way a little bit. So what we're going to do is along the top, we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew right across here first, break our thread, flip this open like this, and then baste the rest all the way around, and that'll complete the pocket. The hardest part of the bag will be done. Okay, so that is the front panel complete. That gives us our front and our back panel complete, and we have a functioning pocket. Now we're going to take our main lining panel and we're going to put these two pieces wrong sides together like so, and we are going to baste this in place all the way around. And that is what that looks like. So you can see the right side of the lining on the back side. And that is our front main panel complete. Now I'm not going to be putting on a lining zipper pocket. You would go ahead and do that now for your exterior, for your back pocket, but I'm just going to leave mine blank. So I'm going to go ahead, do the same with my another lining panel and put my back piece, exterior piece, and my lining piece wrong sides together and baste in place. Okay, so that is our main panels complete. You can set those aside for now. Now we're going to work on our other gusset pieces. So our zipper panels first. I have both my pulls on. Now I like to cut my zipper tape longer just so I can pull my pulls out of the way and just have a clip so they don't fall off. Now I'm going to take my lining piece right side up and put some double-sided tape along the top. You could definitely use clips if you prefer. I'm also going to take an exterior piece and do the same thing. And then I'm going to take my lining piece, which is right side up, and I'm going to take my zipper, which is also right side up, and I'm going to stick my zipper along the top like so. Overhang is okay. We're going to trim that all off later. Now you're going to take your exterior, put it nice and even with the lining, and put them right sides together, sticking or clipping it down like so. Then you're going to sew across here with the seam allowance in the pattern, flip them wrong sides together, and then top stitch and baste. That's one side done. Now what you're going to do is go ahead and repeat with the opposite side of the zipper and the other two panels. So that's our completed zipper panel. Pull your zipper pulls into the center and clip off any excess tape. And now we're going to do this gusset very similar to what we did with the little pocket. This one's a little bit easier though. Find your top and bottom centers of both the zipper panel and your gusset pieces. Now we're going to take our gusset exterior and we are going to put it right sides together like so. And if we had our seam allowances right, they should match up perfectly, which mine do. Then you're going to put this lining side up and put the lining sides together and add the lining gusset into those clips. So across here, bring those wrong sides together and then top stitch through the gusset. That's one side done. We're going to repeat with the opposite side, but this time it's going to look like we're forming kind of like a figure eight or two loop-de-loops, but you're going to do the exact same thing we just did with the other side. So across here, flip them wrong sides together and top stitch. Now that that's done, go ahead and bring those bottom gusset pieces wrong sides together, just like we did with the small gusset piece, and baste. Okay, so that is done. Go ahead, flip this right side or wrong side out. We're going to match up our top center with the top center of our main front panel and our gusset piece, same with the bottom. And then very similar to how we did that front pocket piece, you're going to go ahead and you're going to ease that fabric all the way around this panel. It fits really good, I must say. The panel pieces were perfect. Now, if you do come to a corner and it looks like your gusset does not want to go around that corners, you can definitely go ahead and put little 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch snips in there to help ease that fabric around the corners, and you can do that for all 4. Once that's all secure, go ahead and sew around this entire circumference with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. That is the front done. Kind of run your finger around here to make sure everything was caught. If it was, go ahead, do the exact same thing with your back piece and do it all the way around. And now it's time to do your binding. I'm doing a waterproof canvas binding, so do binding whatever you like, whether it's fold over elastic or bias tape or waterproof canvas. Go ahead and bind in whichever method you prefer. And you'll do this for both raw sides. Once you have both sides bound, go ahead and pop this right side out. Now, this was surprisingly so easy to turn, but it makes so much sense because there is no interfacing this. It just makes it so easy. Pop out all of those seams and nice and tight. Roll those seams in between your fingers. Pop them all out. Make sure everything was caught well. Once you're satisfied with how all your seams look, all that's left to do is nothing. Admire your work. Check it out. It comes together so fast. Again, the only hard part was that front pocket, but with practice, that'll get easier and easier. And that is your waist belt all ready to go. It just looks fantastic. Thank you, Jenny, for another amazing pattern. And just like that, we're done. All right, that's it. That's all. What do you guys think of that? Pretty fast. So the hardest part is this pocket, this front pocket. Just take it slow. You can do it. This is the first one here that I ever made, and it turned out pretty good. If you wanted to make it easier, just leave the front pocket off, and you could just have a one zipper pocket and a slip pocket on the back, and that would be just fine too. Anyways, if at any time you did like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can always buy me a coffee. And if you haven't already, check out the membership side. There may be something there that sparks your interest as well. Anyways, until the next one, I'll see you guys again. Bye.